Hey, how are you guys? Welcome to Coffee Chat with me, Catherine Oster, the Wednesday, March 10th edition. Hey, who's live with me? Can you type me something in the comments? I am wondering if I can see comments today. So, as you can see, hi Lil, thank you for joining me. Oh, you guys. Okay, so hi Loretta. Check out these earrings. I forgot I had them. And so I got in early from doing chores this morning. Um, we had another baby calf born. So for anybody watching or listening in the future, we are calving our herd of 40 cows for the first time in 11 years. Hi, Robert. Hey, Mom. And so anyway, I got in a little bit earlier this morning and I had time. So I made myself pretty. It took me literally 15 minutes to do my hair, put on some makeup, powder, mascara, lipstick. And then I found these earrings and then they kind of go with my shirt. Anyway, it's really fun. So yeah, what do I want to talk to you guys about today? I want to talk to you about controlling are you a control freak? Truth, are you a control freak? And are you trying to control your money? Which is actually creating less money in your life than could be possible. And the example, hi Jackie. Jackie as Robert and Robert and Jackie. Hi Lori, thanks for joining. I'm so excited you guys are all here. Okay, so I want to talk to you about your business. And if you don't have a business, look at your life. I'm going to talk to you about this in a couple of different analogies, but I'm going to use our farm as a first example. So, cash flow on the grain farm. In the beginning, we did all of the work ourselves, meaning my brother-in-law and my husband, they would haul in all of the grain throughout the winter months. They were constantly trucking. And then, we would get into seeding and they were really struggling to get all the rocks picked and to all that. And then by the time they got the rocks picked, then it was right into spraying and then it was right into fungicide and then it was right into harvest. Hey, Dad. And then it was right into grain hauling. So they literally had no break at all. Now, in the beginning, financially, we weren't really, it was we were starting to build a savings account, but it wasn't quite yet. Now, one day, my brother-in-law was like, you know what? It didn't work for him to haul in all the grain. It wasn't fun. They didn't get a break. And so we started adding a custom grain hauler to our farming operation. And my husband, so they're kind of two opposing points of view all the time. And he was like, well, we can't afford it. And we're going to have less money then if we start to hire somebody else to do this job for us. And then there's me using these crazy magical money tools. And I asked the question. And the question I asked was, truth, what will our life be like in 5 years if we use custom grain haulers? If we start using custom grain haulers, if we hire them to haul some grain in. And you get a sense of that energy. And then it was truth, what will our life be like in 5 years if we don't? And I got a sense of that energy. And the second one, to not hire them, was really heavy. And it was so contracted, it always frowns me. Whenever I ask a question and the energy is heavy or it's going to create contraction, which means it's going to create your life as less in the future, I always frown. And then the question of when it's expansive, when it's going to create greater and more space, it always makes me smile. So that's how I tap into the energy for me. If you're wondering about, how to read your awareness of energy, I have some other coffee chat videos on that. You can send me a message and I will direct you, or you can start looking, you'll find them. A lot of other facilitators have made videos too. So anyway, so that's the question I asked. It was so much lighter to hire them. Now you can look at, yes, my husband's point of view, like what he was saying was correct. We are going to have money going out, essentially. But is money going out necessarily creating less money for your business? Remember, money doesn't make sense. And yeah, there is money going out now in this other place, but how I look at money is as a river. The river is always flowing. It's always flowing. Money flows in, money flows out. The more you try to control it, the less you have. So if you dam up the money going out, then it gets sticky and probably not as much will come in. Like you just stop the flow. It's not as much ease or fun. So money as a river. It's coming in, it's going out. More comes in, more goes out. And in fact, money within your life, maybe you've noticed, or within a business, is like in cycles, like on a grain farm. Like we harvest, there's really a lot of money coming in, and then maybe it's the flow slows down, but then you can start to add in possibly other revenue streams to have a different kind of flow. So this is just bringing in an interesting perspective of how you look at money. Now, when you try to control money and limit where it wants to go, so you have the point of view of lack, like my husband did, then you stop the flow, and then it doesn't move, and then it gets stagnant, and it's not creating. It doesn't create. When money is still, it's just like energy. You know, when it's still, when you're trying to control it, you are limiting it. So then the other really cool thing is to look at, like, what I started telling him was, hey, like, yeah, okay, we have this other bill that we're paying now, but we're also contributing to another business. You know, the money that flows into our grain farm is now flowing out and contributing to another business, and it's contributing to more people's lives. So our farm finances are not only just contributing to us, they are contributing greater to other people's lives, which feels so much more exciting to me, you know, and it did. So that we started doing that in our business, choosing custom grain hulling, I want to say like 4 years ago, 3 or 4. And in the beginning, it was just a percentage, like just a certain amount. But now we pretty much custom haul it out. Like the last couple of years, the guys haven't really hauled anything to the elevator. And we've never had a problem paying for that service. In fact, it has only created greater, and I can't tell you how, but I know that our bank account grows every year for whatever reason, whether we have a bountiful harvest, whether we have money flowing in another way. I can't tell you, it doesn't make sense, but it just creates greater. So, do you have the point of view that if you're spending money, that you're losing money? What if you could spend money and create greater? Same thing with me and my life. So now I'm going to take this from a business into my life. Oh yeah, okay, let me back up for a second. The other thing it's created for the farm, for my brother-in-law and my husband, is they now have more free time in the winter. They're not busy hauling grain anymore. So they're getting creative, they're doing other things. They have more time to make different choices. And so my husband and I, we just had added the cattle to our life now this winter. So my husband, he's doing chores, he's calving his cows. That's how he enjoys spending his time. I remember when he was hauling grain and in his truck every day, he was not very happy. He's way more happier now. And money follows joy. Doesn't make sense, follows joy. So, for myself personally, one of the things that I've added to my life that was a tougher choice for me was to add a house cleaner. And I remember like just really not having enough time to have the house as clean as I would like it. I had young kids at the time. Plus I was trying to go on my own with my riding lessons and my horse training and taking access classes, and plus looking after being a mom. And the house ended up being on the back burner, but that didn't feel good to me. Also, I didn't have a lot of money either. I was like, but then I can't afford a house cleaner, and like, oh my God, I'm wasting money because I could be doing this myself and I'm paying somebody else. And all of these crazy things came up. But it really came down to just gonna goddamn choose it and see what it creates. And so I had enough, and I didn't even have a person in mind. I actually asked my house. I started again playing with these crazy money tools and consciousness and asking questions. I asked my house to show me who the person would be, who it would like it to come in and clean it. And this one gal popped. I found out about her through another person. So I just contacted her and I said, hey, are you interested in coming and clean my house? And what would you charge and all the things? And she was like, yes, I would be interested. So she came out and she started. And I think I was paying her like $20 or $30 an hour. And I was kind of a little like, that was a big pill for me to swallow back then. That was probably like 8 years ago. And, but I'm like, you know what? No, I'm going to choose this. And if I asked the question, truth, if I choose this, if I hire her, will she make me money? And it was a yes. And so how we had it set up is she came to clean the first time. And then when she came the next time, I would leave cash or check for her for payment the other time. So I had a time period to create the money. And she showed up and she cleaned for like maybe 4 or 5 hours the first time. And so it was like a couple $100. And I stayed out of the judgment. I stayed out of the anxiety. Every time I had anxiety about how I was going to pay her, I just stopped and I asked, what else is possible here? I wonder how the money can show up for me. And it did. I always had the money to pay her on time. And in fact, it made my life so much more easier. And when I came home from a day of teaching riding lessons, because I didn't have an indoor riding arena back then, so I was traveling to other places. When I would come home to a clean house at the end of the day, and usually it was like at 10 o'clock at night, oh my God, that felt so good. I was so grateful for her and so happy. And so that's another choice where it looked like I'm spending money, but am I spending money and losing money, or was I spending money that was creating greater for me? So these are all like different points of view, like just different ways to look at how you are with your money. And are you controlling it and trying to keep it all for yourself? And do you think that if you spend money, you're losing it? What if you can actually spend money and create a greater future? Create more money coming into your life? Again, doesn't make sense. So I am doing that Magic Money monthly program. We are just going to have our first call on Saturday. We are just getting into week 1. If this conversation intrigues you at all and you want to discover more about how you can be and create money in your life in a way that doesn't make sense, but in a way that's different, let me know. It's a 10-month program, but I'm still offering a taste. So you can join for the first month and see if you want to continue on for the whole program or not. I'll put a link with this video. Message me on Facebook if you have any questions. Have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you so much for showing up and watching this. For those of you live with me now, I'm grateful for you and grateful for you that are watching this in the future. And if you got anything out of this, give it a share. That would be amazing. Okay, bye-bye for now.